When the weather gets hot, the parents of America pack the kiddies up and send them off into the country, there to enjoy the special fun that can only be found at summer camp.
I'm tired. When are we gonna stop? Yeah, Mike, we've been marching for hours.
It's only been 20 minutes, Alfie, so stop your complaining. But maybe you're right. Okay, bunk 6, halt. Alfie, Marky, I'm putting you two in charge of getting our campsite ready for the night. As your counsellor, I'll supervise.
Yes, sir, Mike. Gotcha, sir.
Look at the little stinkers going out with such dedication. Man, they make me sick. I came to work at Camp Garufu to meet girls, not nurse-maid a bunch of rejects from the little rascals. Shortly.
Tell us a story, Mike. Yeah, make it a neat one.
Okay, guys, I'll tell you a story, and I guarantee that it'll scare the bejeebers out of you. A few hundred years ago, right on this spot, stood the sleepy little town of Garufu, Massachusetts. The people of Garufu weren't the brightest bunch around, and they lived in constant fear of one man. Pastor Stoneheart, whose fiery sermons and hypnotic eyes made him undisputed Lord Garufu. But Pastor Stoneheart didn't belong to any religion like yours or mine, no. Stoneheart led the town in worship of an unspeakably horrible, dark god, an evil god from a nether dimension who craved regular human sacrifice. Every summer, the congregation would gather in the church, and Pastor Stoneheart would speak the mystic incantation that called forth the hideous demon. O great Garufu, master of the foul domain, in the name of all that is unholy, I invite you to claim our sacrifice. And every summer, the doorway to the foul domain would open, and Garufu would come. It wasn't long before the God-fearing men from the neighbouring towns joined forces and burned the wicked village to the ground. But they say that new followers of the monstrosity keep the ancient religion alive, and that on hot summer nights like this, Garufu returns from his domain and snatches away little boys like yourselves. So watch out while you sleep tonight, boys, or Garufu will come and get you. I just love to scare the scrawny runts. It's the only fun I have on these lousy overnights. Later.
I can't sleep, Marky. Me neither, Alfie. I just keep thinking about that monster. You know what I'm going to do, Marky? I'm going to call that Garufu and see what he looks like in person. You can't, Alfie. He does up. All I've got to do is remember those words that Mike told us Pastor Stoneheart said. Don't do it, Alfie, please. I'm frightened. Be quiet and let me think. Hey, I've got it. Oh, great Garufu, master of the foul domain. Come on, Alfie. Cut it out.
And not far away.
In the name of all that is unholy.
Ah, now what are those dopey kids up to? Can't a guy enjoy his beer in peace? Alright, you two, what are you trying to do? Wake everybody?
He's calling the monster, Mike. I invite you now to claim our sacrifice.
I've had just about all I can stand from you obnoxious little
Hey, Mike, look.
Wow. No, it's not possible. I made the whole thing up.
Holy spit.
I made the whole stupid story up. No!
Mike, come back. It's too late, Marky. He's gone. Why did you do it, Alfie? Why did you make the monster come here? You don't understand, Marky. I didn't believe that dumb story that Mike told us. I didn't believe in any monster. I was just kidding around, trying to scare you.
Which just goes to prove that you shouldn't tell tall tales. You never know when one of those tales might decide to come over for dinner. End. It's the third house on the left. Are you sure? Yeah, that's it, definitely. Where is it, Toby? Upstairs bedroom, south wall. Alright, let's hope we're not too late. Oh my god! Jim, wake up! Help! Help! Ma'am, it's okay. We're not here to explain after, Toby. Now let's go. Is this the one? No, it's inside the room. Get away from there, Jim! Help! You said the south wall. This can't be right.
Damn it, Toby, where is it? I don't get it, Vic. It should be right there. But there's no door on that wall. Oh God, did I get the wrong house? It's supposed to be on the south wall.
It is.
Is that possible? It's rare, but yes, a door is a door. Get ready. It's locked. Strangers came and Alice is in there. Move back. Oh no, Vic, there's a girl under the bed. What? Cover her eyes. Hurry. We have to get her out of here. There's no time. The door is opening. 3 weeks later. Rick, how nice to meet you. Mr. Jones, it's a pleasure. Please, call me Boris. May I offer you a drink?
No, thank you, sir.
Rick, do you know why I asked you here today? Well, not to put the cart before the horses, but I assume it's to offer me a job. Only I have no idea what the job is. I apologise for keeping things vague, but it's necessary while we weed out the undesirables. The family of a boyhood friend of mine raised draft horses. They were massive, beautiful animals. But before his parents would ever let my friend come out to play, he had to finish his chores, so I would help him. One of those chores was calling the horses in from the fields and into the barn. But the horses were a fickle bunch. They would only go into the barn if the front door was open. The problem, however, was that the horses liked to just walk out of the barn and off the farm. So it was my job to stand in the open doorway as a deterrent. I'm sorry? You want to hire me? To stand in a doorway? To keep horses from leaving the barn? No. That's my job. Rick Mastiff, this is Victor Gantz, our doorman. You've got some pretty big shoes to fill, Rick. I hope you're ready. Toby O'Keefe, the man you're replacing, was shot and killed in the line of duty a few weeks ago. We were all very fond of him. I'm sorry to hear that, but I still don't know what you're hiring me to do. Like Victor said, it's his job to stand in the barn doors. Just need you to find them. Figure it out yet? No, I just don't get it. The answer is right here, but I just can't find it. Do you know why? No, why? It's because you don't believe. Alien gods, dimensional doorways, beings that drive you mad just by looking at them. All of this is fantasy to you, and you're here just for the 7-figure salary. Toby, the good man that you replaced, was shot and killed by a man who thought he was going to hurt his daughter, but he was saving her from these things that are very, very real. I don't know what Boris saw in you when he gave you the job. What do you want me to say, Victor? I've been at this for months, and I've seen nothing to convince me. I know all the formulas, all the references, all the history, and I still can't find these doorways. And every time I look at this damn book... Oh my God, I see it. That's why I haven't been able to find the answers. The book keeps changing. But that's impossible. It's... Convinced now? That's the only copy of the book we have, so try not to get sick on it. Is this whole puke after a gig thing going to become a habit for you? My God, the sound! Too bad you can only close your eyes, huh? Man, this is embarrassing. Don't worry about it. I did more than puke my first time. How do you do it? The sounds are horrifying enough, but to stand there and look at them... Where did you learn to do that? It's not something you learn, Rick. I'm just one of the very few people who can do what I do and not die of fright. There has to be some skill to it. I mean, you stand in these doorways and scare off things that would drive anyone else insane. Is that what you think I do? I don't scare anything. These things can't be scared. I stand in the doorway so they won't notice the hole between dimensions and come through. Wait, you mean that if something wanted to come through a doorway, you wouldn't be able to stop it? Hell no. It'd be like an ant trying to stop a hurricane the size of Saturn. So, we keep plugging the holes and hope they don't get curious. Got any relish? And if they come through, humanity spirals into an apocalyptic nightmare of madness and chaos. Kind of makes you wish you become a dentist, doesn't it? Hey Vic, how many hotels did this make in the past year? 7, 8 if you count the hourly motel down in Fairfax. Oh, I don't want to remember. Some of those tenants were scarier than your doorways.
Okay, get ready. The door's opening. Rick!
Victor!
It's got me! Oh God, it's got me! Rick, stand here and do not move, no matter what you see. Do not move! No! Where are they? Inside.
Victor! Oh no! Rick? Is that you? But where's Victor? He's gone. Something pulled him through. I stood in the doorway.
And you survived. You know what this means?
Yeah. I'm the new Doorman.
Thunder crashes and lightning crackles across the skies above Providence, Rhode Island, and in a cold, lonely jail cell, a young prisoner sits deep in thought, wondering how to tell his attorney about the Shambler from the stars. It was a weird account of forbidden books of magic and fearsome creatures from the furthest stars. Frankly, the lawyer didn't believe a word of it. Will you? You've been charged with murder, Robert, and I can't help you unless you tell me everything. Sure, I'll tell you what happened, Bronson. But you won't be able to help me. No one can. I've always wanted to be a writer. A year ago I began trying, living cheaply, sending out story after story. But I failed miserably. My work was flat, lifeless. It lacked inspiration. Then I stumbled on the occult arts. I knew that was what I must write about. I read every occult book I could find. I longed to learn the songs the demons sing, to hear the voices of the olden gods. I began writing to isolated thinkers, obscure men who knew of lost magical arts and occult lore. From a reclusive scholar in Providence, I learned many things no library could reveal. I learned of strange creatures and stranger gods. He told me of blasphemous books on how to summon them, the legendary Necronomicon, the frightful Book of Ebon, the disquieting De Vermis Mysteris, or the Mysteries of the Worm. I knew if I could get my hands on some of those forbidden books, my work and my life would change. I began an interminable crusade, haunting dingy bookshops, seeking copies of these dread occult works. Then one day... Look at this! What a find! This is the book my friend in Providence told me about. Yes, De Vermis Mysteris, the Mysteries of the Worm. One of the world's rarest books of black magic. Yes, this is it. Written by Ludwig Prynne in the 16th century. Prynne was an alchemist, a necromancer. He claimed to have lived for 500 years. He studied the black arts, supposedly had invisible companions and demon servants. Finally, his evil researches and blood-stained experiments caused him to be dragged off by the witch hunters. It was in a dungeon awaiting death at the stake that he wrote this evil book. I don't imagine this battered old book is worth much. Let me see, young man. I heard you gloating over it. Yes, I'm afraid this is a very rare book indeed. I'll have to charge you $200. $200? I can't... Never mind, keep your blasted book. I'll get it some other way. I couldn't sleep that night. The book haunted me. I had to have it. Had to have it. So I broke into the bookshop. Let's hope that old fool didn't hide it away. No, there it is. Right on the counter. Hey, someone is coming. Who's there? Why, it's the young man who... Yes, I told you I'd get the book. At my price. I ran, clutching my prize. I was anxious to get at the secrets it held, but the book was in Latin. I couldn't read a word. I decided to take the book to my friend in Providence. He was a scholar, had studied Latin. He'd never seen a copy, so I knew he'd be happy to help me. As I knocked, I felt on the brink of strange revelations. Yes, what is it? We've corresponded, sir. I'm Robert. Yes, of course, Robert. I am most elated. I seldom have visitors.
What brings you here?
I've unearthed the real prize, sir. Look, a copy of the Vermis Mysteris.
Indeed. I wonder if it's wise to open it. It is full of evil knowledge, and yet I feel this is a great opportunity. Join me in my study. We'll pore over this antique tome.
Do you think some evil will befall us if we read it?
Perhaps, but it's worth the risk.
Imagine what dark secrets are locked in its musty pages.
Yes, secrets that only a man 500 years old could have known and preserved.
You can translate it?
Yes, of course, of course. Soon the knowledge of that long-dead sorcerer will be ours. It's all here in these dread pages, Robert. Yes, potent spells and enchantments. All the blasphemous lost lore of aeons past, of the gods who walked the earth. He tells us of Father Yig, Dark Han, serpent-bearded Beatis. Ah, and see here, Robert. Here is a spell for summoning magical servants from the stars.
I've heard enough, sir. We ought to...
Stop? Oh no, we will not stop now. Not before I recite this ancient orison. This spell will bring him to us, the all-powerful servitor.
A great storm suddenly grew up around us. Shouldn't we forget about...
Silence. I will begin the invocation. Tibi magnum innominandum signa stellarum nigrarum.
The room grew chill. A fierce wind shrieked in.
Et bufaniformus satiquae sigillum.
The candle died, and the strange bleating laugh began.
It worked, Robert! It worked!
Good Lord!
It's the Shambler from the stars!
Can't you control it? Stop it?
Something's wrong! It won't obey me!
One of its myriad tentacles fastened upon him. It crushed him in its grip as it laughed wildly. The amorphous blob became redder, and then it was over. Fortunately, the monster did not linger. I was alone with the lifeless body. The Shambler was gone, and so was the book. I knew I must burn everything, destroy every trace of its visit. Gotta get away from here.
Hold it, stop right there, kid.
Suddenly, I knew it was no use running. You see, Bronson, I realized I'll see the Shambler again. He will return soon, without being summoned. He will return for me.
Yes, well, I'm glad you told me this, Bob. I've got a good idea now how to plead your case. Just relax and don't worry.
I'm beyond worrying. It's too late for worrying. Much too late. And so it is. Bear with me, friend. What I am about to reveal to you requires patience and an open mind. You may think me as mad as the people of the town where I lived, but I assure you, once you have distilled the facts from the fantasy, you will know that my words are true and may even save your life one day. I have seen the fear, and I am here to tell you that this world is not what it seems. My name is Father Martin Blair. I was and remain a man of faith. It is what I now have faith in that has changed. I have lived my entire life in a small New England town called Mason. I tended a small flock of devoted followers, held mass every Sunday. For all practical purposes, I was a happy man. Myself and all of the citizens of Mason were fine and content, living under the watchful, loving eye of God. It was a good life. So good, in fact, that maybe I was a fool to ever believe it was real. It all began to fall apart when the man with the milky eyes came to town. His name was Samuel. He came to Mason in the fall of 1913.
He was blind, and his eyes had a milky coating like mould grown over them. Being the town holy man, I greeted the awkward stranger with open arms, and welcomed him into my flock. There were many unusual things about Samuel. For a blind man, he seemed to look about more than one would think. He did not speak often, but when he did, he would say the strangest things. Instead of God, he would say gods, and when I corrected him, he would shake his head and tell me that I did not know what the world truly was. "Don't you mean God, Samuel? The single God that shines in the heavens above?" I believed that once, but... And he would say no more. But I have never been one to quit easily, so I'd always ask him, "Would you like me to hear your confession?" "No, Father, I would not." One chilly night in October, I heard a frightful sound coming from the centre of town. I rose from my bed and ran into the streets wearing only a robe, as did many citizens who heard the cries that night. And what we discovered was almost too horrible to bear. They were not your children anymore. They were disciples of the great old ones. Samuel was arrested and without trial sentenced to hang the next day, despite my appeal to the townsfolk. They wanted no trial. Samuel had been caught with the blood of children on his hands, and for that alone he should die. Nobody even stopped to consider that it was next to impossible for a blind man to kidnap and murder a dozen children in the middle of the night. I visited Samuel in his cell the night before he was to hang. "Tomorrow you die. Would you like me to hear your confession?" This time he said, Yes, Father, I would. And then I must give you something." "Go ahead, Samuel." "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It has been many years since my last confession. Go on. I have sinned against my own people, Father. I have stared into the abyss, and I have seen things that no man should see." "Samuel, no! It doesn't hurt, Father." "Take these, Father, and cast them into the air when I die, and you will see what I saw. You will see the worlds around us, and you will see the sight that destroyed my eyes. But most of all, Father, you will see, as I have seen, all of the deceivers in our midst, all of those around us, like those damned children who are demons in disguise, waiting to help destroy us any way they can." That Sunday, I have seen things that no man should ever see. Learned things that we were never meant to know. And I still tend to my flock, keeping a careful eye, as should you, dear reader. Look hard at the person sitting next to you. If you think you are looking at ancient evil, do not be too unsure. That is what I have faith in now. Evil is true and real and living all around us, and must be stopped at all costs.